Okay, we're good. Woohoo! Hey, so we are with Abby at Cabin Creek, and we're going to talk about education. Woo! Hold on, is this still in focus? Okay, we're good. We're good.
It's flash.
Alright.
So do you want to start with your first question you had that we can meet up with it?
Okay, so how do you think that the education system is different today than it used to be?
When I was in elementary school, we still had American flags and said prayers every day. You know, and I think that makes a huge difference.
Okay.
And we did the duck and cover thing during the
Cool.
song Duck and Cover. Hide under your desk, here comes a nuclear bomb. Woo.
Yeah, during my Nichols what?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry!
Yeah, so it was.
This will be interesting.
It was a very it was a really different time for us. And I think the whole educational system was completely different than it is now.
Is there prayer?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we had a flag, we said the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer that was led by our principal. It was not a big ordeal when I was little, at all. Not at all. That's how we were raised. We just, okay.
Yeah.
You know, and listen to the principal.
Do you think
Yeah,
that
definitely.
Do you think that people were more prepared for the real world then or now after high school? And then even
Depending
moving on
on
to college.
what real world you're.
Yeah, I guess it's different. But
It's
like
It's
college,
so different.
College readiness, basically.
I think kids that weren't tracked or going on to college were better prepared to go into the workforce.
Okay.
Now there isn't even a workforce for you guys. No. But I think then that there was more, they were more prepared. They had shop classes, they had med classes, they had all this other kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, again, I'm not sure what is done in the public schools.
So do you think that today's society would, do you think it would be better, or do you think we have better education now? Or what would it be like if we had better education? I guess it would be.
I think you guys have, like I said, a much better base all the way through school than what we had.
Okay.
Definitely. We learned reading, writing, and arithmetic, and how to duck and cover.
That seems stick.
Woo! But you guys have different ways that you can go off now in your education. You have a lot more afforded to you, even at the junior high level, than what we had, or the middle school level, whatever, than what we had.
Sorry.
A lot of different avenues for after school, which is also part of your education.
So like sports and band and art programs and stuff like that.
Do you think it helps education-wise? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you think it also helps the community just by being in these extracurricular activities?
Yeah, especially up here. Not so much. It's different downstate, as you well know. But up here, it's so important to have all this extra stuff going on after school. What all the extracurricular activities is mandated, and I know certain things are mandated in the public schools too. 40 hours a year, or whatever, a year, school year, academic year, for public service and all this other kind of stuff. That, it's amazing.
Do you think it improves character of students overall?
Absolutely. It's been a while since I've been affiliated at the high school level, but I know in filling out college application after application after application with the girls and working with them on improving themselves socially and all the other different things that they have to do to be accepted to universities.
Right.
Their essays, their senior essays were staggering. staggering. But yet they weren't a list of, I accomplished this, I did, me. You know, it's not like that. And I think that once you guys have to take a look at yourselves and you rethink who you are at the high school level, and you try and establish who you are to yourselves and to the colleges that you're applying to, you realize it's not just you. It's all these other things that have happened to you.
That create you and the person you are.
All these people in your lives.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have these people had you sat at your little desk and just done your paperwork.
So it's basically the social network that creates the person
absolutely,
that you are.
Absolutely huge.
On college education, how accessible was it then? Like, how easy was it to be able to get into college and afford college and the options to be able to even go to college in general?
Compared to now, yeah.
High school, they got to go where they wanted to go.
Did they receive any financial aid or anything, or were their parents paying for it? Oh, of course. Well, especially in that area.
Yeah, a lot in Birmingham. The thing is that not only did they rely a lot on their parents for footing the bills, but they had academic scholarship after academic scholarships. 2 and 3 and 4 academic scholarships.
So do you think they worked to get those scholarships? Like, compared to now, like, do you think their work ethic, I guess, was like
stronger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Than compared to the students now? From what you've seen as a teacher.
I don't think so, because I think you guys know what you want at an earlier age, although you may not realize you know what you want.
Were their expectations a lot different than what they expect now? To be able to get into college and
I think they were
scholarships?
probably a little higher then.
It was harder to get into college then?
I don't know if it was harder. I think the rules were a little different then, because for women sometimes it was a little harder to get in than it was for the gentlemen. I think it was a little harder for women.
Did you see a lot of women in classes, or was it mostly men to college?
Pretty even, but lean more to having more guys than girls. Only because they hadn't quite, when I first started, they hadn't quite changed the rules about you have to have X amount of women, X amount of men, X amount of blacks, X amount of Hispanics, X amount of foreign-born
So
students.
they had a requirement in
Affirmative
school.
action.
It was, yeah, they didn't have that
Okay.
when I first started. It was merit only that got you in. So again, you know, if you worked your butt off, it was okay.
How did people judge you when you were getting your master's? As a woman, was it hard for you? Were people like trying to?
I had 2 kids, and I was very fortunate. I have a husband who has always been extremely supportive of my craziness. Poor guy. So because of his, I still took care of all of the kids. I still did all of that, but when he was home, he took over everything. So I could spend the time, and my kids were older. I waited for the masters, and they were older and they were in school. So I would do all of my coursework and whatnot between and around their schedules, except if I had to take a Saturday class or something like that, and he was home on a Saturday.
So you think there are more girls going to college today?
Than before when I went? Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. How would you say discipline in schools now compares to then?
Discipline. You know, I really think it depends on where you are. You guys know the Detroit Public Schools.
Yes.
You get battle pay to work there, believe me. Battle pay. There's no discipline in the public school. Not in Detroit, none. I think, and not being familiar with this area that much, I think things are pretty, I don't know, you guys can answer that probably better than me.
Well, thank you again so
You're
much.
welcome,
I
you guys.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
You're welcome.